Good morning everybody, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Good morning, it's Wednesday morning. I'm here in my flat in Rochester, Medway, and it's raining outside and it looks like it's windy as well, so it's been raining. So it's wet and windy today here in Rochester where I live. So good morning everybody. I can't say I've had a good sleep last night because I haven't, but I'm not cross and I'm not angry, which is the main thing. And if these gang stalkers, whatever they are, don't allow you to sleep, just rest. Rest. R-E-S-T, rest. Just rest your body. Whether you're lying down on just rest. Don't use a phone, and if the television's on in the background or the radio, whatever, but don't get up and get anxious and stressed like I used to do. I just lie down and rest, because the people doing it to me, they've got children next door, and when you're awake until 3 in the morning, when they're coming out of the door, going up and down the corridor, coming back in, banging the door, whatever they're doing, right, is keeping them awake. And they've got children that go to school. I presume everybody's back at school. So last night was particularly bad. It was really bad. The guy upstairs came home from work and it was just continually noisy up until 3 in the morning last night. 3 in the morning. I don't know exactly who it was, whether it was 2 sets of neighbours, I don't know. But I just laid down. Couldn't find my earplugs. Came home yesterday evening from walking Max and I couldn't find my earplugs anywhere, so I'll just have to get another pair, won't I? Just get another pair. Don't know where they are. I couldn't find them anywhere. They help. They block out 80% of the noise. So I went to bed last night without my earplugs and I could hear. I just don't know where it is. I think it's 2 sets of neighbours working in conjunction with each other. I don't know. Before anybody says who cares, this goes on with a lot of people and it can be very bad for people's mental health. And gang stalkers know this. One of the wicked forms of torture they use is sleep deprivation and noise disturbance, right? That's what the Nazi Germans did, I expect, and starvation, depriving people of food, starving them and making them work, was another form of Nazi torture. So yeah, so basically I came in. I am on a sort of a diet, not a diet where I'm starving myself. I'm just reducing my calorie intake so that I don't get really severe acid reflux. I'm not going in and out of the co-op, not because I haven't got any money, because I'm trying to reduce my calorie intake. But these stupid idiots think I'm starving and I haven't got any food to eat, and I have. So they leave sandwich boxes on the floor, they leave sweet wrappers, they drop dirty substances on the floor that looks like shit, brown sauce. They're just disgusting. I can't describe how disgusting these people are. They're vile. So I came into my flat and it has been fairly quiet over the Easter period. Not too bad. But the kids have gone back to school next door, and when they come home from school, it sounds, the racket that's going on is awful. So I try and get myself away from it, do something else, watch the telly, listen to music, write my journal and keep my mind occupied away from it. And I am not responding to it. And they were banging my wall. And I mean, they were deliberately banging my wall like this last night to try and get a reaction out of me, and I didn't do anything. They're deliberately banging the wall now. I'm getting obscene messages from Facebook, and then these guys next door just make an unbelievable racket. When I went out for the evening walk, I just don't know what to expect. There's tents out there and one of them's got pro on it, which is half the word of prostitute. Some idiot who doesn't know me at all has bandied it about that me, Crystal, is a prostitute. I am not a prostitute. I never have been a prostitute. I'm a 56-year-old woman with disabilities, right? I'm on benefit, as you know, because you've heard the lady from Chatham Job Centre call me, right? They're not messing with my benefits. They're leaving me alone. That's what they've said, because I've recorded the phone call. And if they go back on what they've said, I have got phone evidence that they're lying. The woman sounded funny. It sounded like an episode of Little Britain, but I recorded it and I recorded her voice. That was Susan from Chatham Job Centre. Went out last night with Max, and just lately the black dog's been running about. A black dog is depression. They call depression the black dog. Stephen Fry does. So Adamant has suffered from depression. He's 70 now. Adamant, Prince Charming, Stand and Deliver. He suffered depression and mental health illness. Adamant, Stuart Goddard. So I went, like I said, I went onto the field, and this black dog is running about everywhere. And there was a black dog called Lunatic that jumped all over Charlie, the guy with the bald head and no teeth. He looked like a bit of a tramp, an ex-alcoholic. This black dog jumped all over Charlie's back and nearly knocked him over. So there's another dog appearing, very much like Lunatic. Or is it Lunatic? I don't know. It's jumping all over everything, and the guy's really rude. Not very nice and approachable, I can tell you. So I walked past the tents by the Mercedes-Benz building, and this dog goes bounding over to the tents, barking, and he, "Good here," he says. That is how the guy next door spoke to his dachshund. "Fucking move, get indoors." Not me. I've got a chihuahua. So I'm walking around, and then the black dog goes up to the second lot of tents and goes right into the homeless people's tents. And the homeless person just goes, "Hello, hello," to the black dog. And I just carry on walking. There's a couple, and I swear they're trying to film pornography. She is wearing see-through opaque black tights, walking with a young man with a baseball cap. And I just carry on walking out of the way of all of them. Because it looks, if you watch pornography, it's like little stories, some of it. They make little stories. So there's a dirty old man with a old man's cap walking a black dog. There's a girl in one of those tents, a big chubby girl, and porn stars are big and chubby, some of the women. So this black dog is running into a woman's tent, and it's running into another black dog, look. And some disgusting people use dogs in pornography. They do. They do. I'm keeping the well out of the way of it. I'm going around minding my own business. And I just come off the field, come back into my flat, and it's around 7, and it's getting on for 8. 7:30, 8. And I just make myself a cup of coffee, sit down, watch live streams on TikTok, look at the television on Alexa. He's in upstairs and it's fairly quiet. It's been noisy most of the evening, but it's fairly quiet when I get in. And he gets pissed off when I'm not angry, upstairs does, because he likes to make out I'm mad and whatever, and I'm not. I'm being provoked and I'm keeping quiet and I'm keeping, normal. And basically, I'm sat down and I thought, is that the buzzer going off? Is that the buzzer going off? And I thought, because I posted some pictures on Facebook about what happened to me this time last year, and I got a load of takeaways sent to my address that weren't paid for, and one guy verbally abused me downstairs in the building. So I thought, oh no, this isn't starting again, is it? Went over to the buzzer and there was a guy with a takeaway. Now what the police last time told me to do was not to answer the door. If I didn't order it, don't answer the door. Which makes sense, doesn't it? And last time it was residents of this building that let these men into the block of flats, and they managed to come up to the corridor. They let them into my front door. Residents of this building let them in right up to my front door. And you shouldn't do that. Anyway, so he rang the buzzer and I did what the police told me to do. Just don't answer it, leave it. And he went away, and he was yapping on his mobile phone, probably to the takeaway company, is this the right place or whatever. I don't know if it's made up, they're staging it. I'd had a message from Facebook, I want you, before this guy rang my buzzer. I want you, which has been going on for the past 15 years, I want you. My mum had said she was going to call me in the evening and she didn't, and she had a giggly voice in her phone call in the afternoon. Have a good day. So this guy goes off in his mobile, then he goes down there, probably thinks it's the flat down the bottom. Comes back, he tries my buzzer again, and I'm getting pissed off again. I'm getting a bit like, oh, go away. So I put the buzzer on silent. You can turn it off. The whole point is they want to stress you out and cause you grief. And a lot of people keep answering the buzzer, and that's what I did last time, but I didn't this time. I put it on silent. And he goes up that way. Probably tries the next block. And then he comes back down again and tries my buzzer again, and then he gets fed up and he walks off and takes the takeaway with him. You don't know if that takeaway is spiked. Because some people feel sorry for the driver and pay him. No, it could be spiked, it could have drugs in it. Foreign chap, And that's what they are on Facebook. They're dirty. They're sending me pictures of women naked and doing disgusting things to men. It's just vile. This is why I don't go up to my mum's. They're foreign taxi drivers. They're foreign. I'm keeping myself, I love my mother. She's my mum, but I'm keeping myself safe. They're foreign. I'll never forget the Chinese taxi driver that when I used to take Max up with me in the taxi. Oh, you have a dog. You have a dog. It was a Chinese man. You have a dog. I don't take dog. I don't take dog. And my mum went out to it was like a comedy porn show. My mum went out to the taxi. How much for Ginestra? I don't take dog. I don't take dog. It was a really rude Chinese taxi driver he was. Terribly rude and horrible. I'm not going through all that again. So the guy upstairs starts wandering about. He starts wandering about. It sounds like he's moving cupboards, moving furniture. I'm not going up there. I'm not going upstairs to see what's going on. So he's banging cupboards. He's making a load of noise after this takeaway. Right, there's a noise going on till 3 in the morning. There's a loud TV set. You can hear it through the ceiling. It sounds like someone is shifting furniture during the middle of the night. Now, I fortunately don't go to work. And even if I can't sleep during the day, I can sit down. So we also had kids doing this against my kitchen wall, and they're doing it on purpose. Doing that against my kitchen wall. Deliberately trying to cause someone distress and upset. Gang stalking by neighbours. They thought I was going to lose my benefits. They was all waiting for the benefit. They're wicked. They're evil. They were all waiting for the benefit office to tell me that I wasn't going to get my ID verified and I wouldn't get any benefit. But I got my ID verified and I'm getting benefits starting in May. Somebody wants to get me out of my flat into the gutter on the street. They are deliberately trying to make it so nasty for me to live in here. Well, perhaps somebody wants this flat for some reason. Or perhaps they can't. I don't know why they're doing all this to me. Why they feel the need to harass a single woman in her 50s. I don't really know. When all that crap started that way, I was just sat in my flat, minding my own business, being quiet. I think somebody's committed fraud or money laundering or something even worse, and they're just trying to cover it up, you see. And if they get rid of me, I'm not going to poke my nose into it or something. I don't know. Anyway, I recorded the delivery driver because obviously this stalker harasser is going to go to prison eventually. I mean, actually ordering takeaways and sending them to my address, thinking that I've got no food to eat, is disgusting. It's despicable. So basically, I'm gathering evidence, screenshotting the messages on Facebook, recording who they're sending to my flat. So I want them in prison. I really do, and I'm not going to stop till I find out who it is either. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
Unlock exclusive features and content from LBC and even join the conversation.
Send a comment to LBC.
Just say, ask Global Player to link my account.
Cut regulation, cut taxes. Free ports have done fantastically for helping domestic industries grow, especially the renewable sector. We now need to think how they can do that to ensure solar power industry in the UK does grow, not only in the UK, but also working with allies. That's particularly important.
Is this embarrassing for Mr. Miliband?
I think it is a little bit. I mean, we have seen from the Labour government, they have really worked hard to try and strengthen ties with China, particularly, working towards the net zero target. And, this is a complete reversal on those relations. It almost resets them a little bit. So I think it is. I think certainly.
And more broadly, how much is it a dent to the government's net zero ambitions?
I think it's difficult to say at the moment. Obviously it's going to have an impact and these problems need to be mitigated, but it depends how quickly the government acts and how it acts. I think if it just relies on GB Energy to front the costs and expects it to do all the heavy lifting, I think it could have big mitigation. But if it looks to the private sector, if it looks to really work with our allies and to really see where we can get, break up China's dominance on the supply chains, then actually I think it could be an opportunity for us rather than a hindrance. But that is purely dependent on what the government does now.
Lastly, this is an area in which you work every day of your working life. Are they still on track for that 2050 net zero ambition?
Yes, certainly. I think all the science says that we're still on track for 2050. So I think keep to it, keep working hard. But as I said, the government really needs to act quickly. It can't rest on its laurels. 2050 might seem like a long way away, but it doesn't mean that we react. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't do what we need to do.
All right, Max, thanks for your time. 2050 is a long time. I don't know if I'll still be here. Well, hopefully I will. I doubt I'll be on the radio somehow. That would be quite extraordinary in another 20 years, but hopefully I'll still be on the planet. Max Anderson is Head of Communications at the Conservative Environment Network, 844. Let's get Samina tooting in on the conversation about the political row now over that Supreme Court ruling. Which way does Sakir need to steer his party? They're a little bit riven at the moment. Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. I wanted to make the point that in 2010, when the Equality Act was passed by the Labour Party, it didn't actually come into effect till after David Cameron won the election. So the Conservative Party had an ample number of years to provide clarity on the Act. Now, Kemi Badenoch, Liz Truss, Nicky Morgan and Theresa May have all been the Minister for Women and Equalities. There's some hard hitters in the party.
Yeah, well said, well remembered.
And also the issue of single-sex spaces in prisons and hospitals, again, has been mumbling and grumbling and rumbling for years.
Yeah.
So why didn't they provide clarity? So I think Kemi Badenoch needs to apologise as well too, and perhaps next time you get a Tory MP on, please ask them why they didn't amend the legislation.
Well, I noticed, and I don't know if you were listening yesterday, I spoke with Chris Philp, who is now the Shadow Home Secretary, and he was talking about how good it is that we're going to know the nationalities of people who've been the nationalities of people we can fail to deport from this country. And he said it's a long time coming. But this time last year, they were still in power. I do think these questions can be directed on a number of issues.
Absolutely. And so, well, maybe Kemi Badenoch also needs to apologise.
All right, I will. Don't worry. It's been a while since I've had the opportunity, the privilege of speaking with the leader of His Majesty's Opposition. Let's hope it will be coming up soon. Samina, thank you for making those points. There are some pretty heavy hitters, as you said, Kemi Badenoch, Theresa May, and others. Coming up later in the show... Keir Starmer uses St George's Day today, and by the way, happy St George's Day to each and every one of you, to say that we are in a never-ending fight for the flag. The hell does he mean by that? That's in the next hour. It's just at 8:46. LBC News headlines. Thomas Watts.
The Chancellor's promised to stand up for the national interest as she heads to Washington for economic talks. Official figures show the Treasury overshot its borrowing forecast by more than £14 billion last year. And Pope Francis's coffin is being moved to St Peter's Basilica. LBC weather: rain clearing in the southeast, then dry with sunny spells for most, a high of 17 degrees.
LBC Travel, I'm Joanne Webb. Long delays continue on the M1 southbound from the M25 to Junction 5 at Watford. It's all down to an accident where 2 lanes are closed. Also, 2 lanes are closed on the M25 anti-clockwise at Junction 8 at Reigate. It's slow back to Junction 9 at Leatherhead. It's after that lorry was on fire earlier. But clockwise, even though all the lanes are open, it's slow for nearly an hour from Junction 5 at Sevenoaks. The M2 is still very slow westbound to Junction 1 at the A2, and that was after that accident that happened earlier. On the trains, well, these problems at Seven Sisters do continue. The station is closed because of power problems. That's affecting both the Victoria line and also the Weaver line. And also there are severe delays on the Victoria line.
LBC. This is it.
23. Final.
Let's go.
Let's go then.
Guys, I need power.
Right guys, St George's Day. Happy St George's Day. See you later.